road home from work that evening was gloomier than usual. Winters in our area were always cold, dark, and silent, but this night felt different. Something hung in the air, like a heavy cloud I couldn't describe in words. Snow crunched underfoot, and my breath turned into white puffs in the frosty air. I hurried home, as the darkness of the forest always unsettled me, and not without reason, as it turned out. The forest through which my path lay was old and dense. The branches of spruces and pines arched over the path, forming a dark tunnel with only tiny patches of moonlight breaking through. Entering this natural corridor, I instinctively quickened my pace. I had my phone with me, but the battery was almost dead, and the flashlight's dim light barely illumined a few meters ahead. Still, I decided to save what little charge was left, so I put the phone in my pocket and navigated by intuition and the faint moonlight. About 10 minutes passed when I noticed it for the first time. Yes, it was the first spike originally there. At first, I thought it was just a trick of light and shadow. About 100 meters ahead, something moved. I stopped. There seemed to be something tall standing on the path. I squinted, trying to make out what it was, and my heart began to race. The figure was tall, impossibly tall. Even from that distance, I could tell it was at least 3 meters high. Its outlines were blurry, but the eyes were glowing. They didn't just reflect light like animal eyes do. They emitted their own eerie yellow glow. My legs felt rooted to the ground. I couldn't comprehend what this creature was, and my brain desperately searched for logical explanations. Maybe it was just the shadow of a tree, or an old signpost that looked strange in the dark. But then the figure moved. I barely had time to register that its arms, they weren't human, long, thin, whip-like appendages writhed independently of each other, snaking through the air. The thing tilted its head to the side as if studying me. I felt the blood freeze in my veins. In a split second, it began to move, at first slowly, almost imperceptibly, and then faster. It started running. I didn't think. I turned and bolted. My heart pounded wildly, and my lungs burned as they inhaled the frosty air. Snow flew in all directions under my feet. But I didn't care. Behind me, I could hear the creature pursuing me. Its movements were unnatural, the crack of its whip-like arms against trees, the whoosh of its wings, the crack of its whips beneath the air. And then there was a sound, something like loud breathing or hissing. The path ahead seemed endless. At one point, I nearly fell, tripping over roots protruding from beneath the snow. Summoning all my strength, I got up and kept running. My mind was consumed by one thought: to reach the lit section of the road, which should have been close. And then I saw it, the faint yellow glow of a street lamp at the end of the path. With every ounce of energy left, I sprinted toward it, feeling the creature's cold breath almost touching my neck. When I finally emerged onto the road and into the light of the street lamp, everything went silent.